Topic 2.4 is about graphical misrepresentations of data. It honestly is kind of like some other sections in this text where we just want to read and review. So I'm not actually going to go through very much on this video. I instead want you to read the information on the pages and read through the different graphs into why they may or may not be misleading or deceptive. The main ideas here is that we can see graphs that represent statistical data that are super duper misleading, maybe through the scale of the graph or because of the wow factor that totally makes the data not even stand out, or the use of 3D tools that can often make the graph look like it's showing more area to a certain part or another. And we also really want to make sure that the bars in our bar graph are good. So here are some guidelines for constructing good graphs. And on the rest of the pages of this assignment, what's going to happen is it's going to show you a bad graph representing a certain piece of data, why it's a bad graph, and maybe a better representation of that data. To construct good graphs, we want to make sure to title and label the graphic axis clearly, providing explanations if needed, including units and sources. We want to avoid distortion of the data, minimize the amount of white space in the graph, truncate the scales, but if you truncate the scales, clearly indicate this to the reader. Avoid clutter, don't distract, avoid 3 dimensions. Do not use more than one design in the same graphics. No like bar graphs to compare to line graphs, they need to be the same. And avoid relative graphs that are devoid of data or scales. We actually need to know the scale so that we can actually compare these things properly. So here's an example of what you're going to see for each of the problems here. We're going to see the scenario, the bad graphic, and why this graph might be considered misleading, and then a good graph.